I'm going to talk about Medicare for All, so stay tuned. I'm Keith Armbrecht, founder of Medicare on Video. I hope you'll find the information in this video very helpful and presented in an easy to understand format. Turning Medicare eligible is actually a very good thing. You'll likely find Medicare to be a much better alternative for your health insurance needs than what you may have had previously. But there are some choices. So I've created a Medicare Resource Center where I have a complete video library on everything Medicare. You'll also find all the necessary links and the guides and the forms that go along with them. So after this video, take just a few minutes to explore our Resource Center. I'm sure you'll find everything that you need for Medicare. You can also get an immediate quote for your Medicare supplement insurance. Just fill in your basic information and it'll bring up the rates for the plans that are available in your area. It would also be a great idea to subscribe to my YouTube channel. That way you'll always have access to my videos and you'll get updates as they come along. So again, I hope you find this information very helpful and please let me know if I can help. Okay, so I wanted to talk just a little bit about a topic that seems to be recently kind of gaining some momentum, and I'm not really sure why, but all of a sudden there seem to be a few more people talking about Medicare for All, and just wanted to give my thoughts on it and kind of what I think on where it could go and how it might function. And first off, just understand I am not terribly political, so if I had to choose, I would likely say I lean a little to the right. And what frustrates me the most is kind of how things function these days is you really have to be one or the other. And if you're one, you can't like the other. No matter what the other does, you can't like it. And, you know, it's just a ridiculous way for our government to function that if the Democrats come up with a fantastic idea, that the Republicans have to hate it. And if the Republicans come up with a fantastic idea, then the Democrats have to hate it. So why in the world we have to be one or the other? We certainly need a middle party, and I'm not sure why we can't function in the middle to actually get some things done. So if you followed the political landscape recently, you certainly know Obamacare is a mess, a disaster. It's absolutely terrible for many, many people. The Republicans had a chance to do something about it, but they couldn't come together and figure out a solution on how to do it. So now, primarily Bernie Sanders has been carrying the Medicare for All flag, but there are some others. If you go into YouTube and you search, now there's videos from medical students that are in medical school and coming out of medical school that are championing Medicare for All. And, you know, I find that a little odd because I would think as a doctor, you wouldn't necessarily want Medicare to be the one reimbursing you because historically, as we know, Medicare does not have terribly generous reimbursements on whatever procedures are done. But, you know, that might not be such a bad thing. They kind of have it in order. So with Medicare, traditional Medicare right now, I can tell you, I've been doing this for a while, and people almost always, whatever they have coming into Medicare, Medicare is almost always significantly better than what they had previously, and the cost is significantly less. So from a Medicare standpoint, it's a terrific thing to come into Medicare. You know, I'm not sure why, and I was just watching some kind of right-leaning video folks talking, you know, about socialized medicine and, you know, one-payer systems, which kind of is Medicare, how terrible it could be and would be. And, you know, all I look at is folks coming in 65 having terrific healthcare coverage and everything works pretty easily and simply. I would think it's more on the doctor side, again, where maybe reimbursements aren't quite what they'd want them to be. But overall, Medicare is a pretty good thing. Now, obviously, the issue would be who pays for it and how does it get paid for to do something like a Medicare for All, where you go from over 65 to then everybody would be a significant change in landscape, obviously. Now, the way Medicare is set up right now, obviously you pay for it in taxes, as you're coming along to 65, and then there is a premium that's part of the Part B coverage, so you do pay a premium. It's not a lot, it's only $134 a month right now, and then Medicare generally covers 80%, and you're responsible for 20%. It also has a hospital deductible. So, I can remember when I was young, back in the day, it seemed like kind of everybody had Blue Cross and everybody had 80-20 coverage, where the insurance company paid 80%, you had to pay 20%. Now, that's what makes insurance work, is to have it where it does cost you some money to utilize healthcare. It just makes you be more shopping scenario with your healthcare. It makes you be comparison. It makes you understand what your costs are, because you're going to pay for some of it. So coming into Medicare, I often tell Medicare clients that I deal with every day that Medicare is too good. I mean, we can get a Medicare A and B with a supplement where your out-of-pocket expense is only a $183 deductible. And that's kind of ridiculous, where your out-of-pocket's only going to be $183 for the entire year. It does not bring consumerism into it, where you play a part in managing the cost. And that's what we need to make insurance work. That's why we have on our cars, on our houses, $500 deductible, $1,000 deductible, whatever it may be, makes you more cautious, makes you kind of play a managing role in that process. So that's what keeps premiums kind of the way they should be and claims kind of the way they should be. When you have only a $183 deductible, you'll run off to the doctor, even if you don't necessarily need to run off to the doctor, because it's not going to be financially impacting you. So, that's something that I think kind of should change now and should change in the future also. But from a Medicare for All standpoint, it's absolutely worth a discussion. I have no idea how the cost ramifications work versus, taxes, what people pay for premiums now, convert that into taxes, which go into the Medicare system, which creates the Medicare for All. And then you have, premiums on Part B, and A and B don't cover everything. And then if you want to cover more, you can buy a supplement that would cover more. Original Medicare doesn't cover prescription drugs, but not everybody needs prescription drugs. But if you needed it, you could buy it. So it's kind of an a la carte system that it absolutely could work. Now, it's such a huge ontaking. And again, when you have Democrat versus Republican, where Democrats are holding the flag and the Republicans are just going to say no, 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 even if it makes all the sense in the world for everybody that's involved, that makes it so much more difficult. So I don't know that we're going to see anything, in the near future of that kind of scenario. There was talk before this election, if the other one had won, that making Medicare drop down to 60 or 55 instead of 65, that might be a good start. Let's piece it down and keep the younger population on regular individual insurance, because they're, less likely to need healthcare coverage, and they're certainly younger and healthier and things of that nature, and maybe move towards expanding Medicare, but do it in a fiscally responsible way, where it's not just the rich paying for the poor in their healthcare. It's doing it where everybody kind of contributes, and again, bring back some of the consumerism, where there is expense on your part. If you go to the doctor, if you get unhealthy, it's going to cost you. And, if you smoke, it absolutely should cost you more to get health care. If you, are obese, if you do things that you generally shouldn't do, then there should be ramifications for it. So, that's one of the biggest problems with Obamacare is you can jump in anytime you want with a pre-existing condition and they have to cover you. I mean, how ridiculous is that in the insurance world? That's like buying a car, don't buy any insurance, go wreck your car, and then go to Geico and say, I want you to pay for this damage on my car. It just doesn't work that way, but that's how our individual health insurance is working right now. So kind of crazy on how it functions. But that's my opinion on what I think. And all I'm really saying is it's worth discussing. It's worth looking at. It may very well be a solution if it were set up correctly, but can we get the two sides to come together and talk about it? That's a big, big different story. So anyway, I hope you found this interesting, and look into it and see what you think. And it may be a solution down the road. We'll see how it goes. Hope you have a fantastic day.